My grandson said, "Grandpa, you're embarrassing. Don't come to my wedding, those old clothes of yours are a joke." I hung up without a word. But on the wedding day I showed up with my lawyer and did something he'll never forget. My name is Isaac Coleman. I am 72 years old. I am an African American man born and raised in Savannah, Georgia. I worked for 43 years as a master carpenter and later as a small construction company owner. I am quiet by nature, disciplined, God-fearing, and practical. I dress simply: pressed shirts, clean but old jackets, polished shoes repaired many times. I believe respect is louder than wealth and silence is often stronger than shouting. I am a widower. My wife Ruth passed away 9 years ago after a long illness. She was a school librarian, gentle, sharp-minded, and the kind of woman who remembered everyone's birthday. Everything I did in my life was for my family, especially for my only grandson, Marcus. Marcus is 28 years old. He works as a junior partner in a tech startup in Atlanta. He is ambitious, image-conscious, restless, and deeply influenced by social status. He grew up mostly in my house after his parents divorced. His father, my son Daniel, died in a car accident when Marcus was 12. His mother Denise moved on quickly and emotionally checked out. I became Marcus's anchor. I paid for his private high school. I paid for his college tuition. I co-signed his first apartment lease. I never complained. I never reminded him. I believed love should not keep receipts. For the past few years Marcus changed. He started correcting how I spoke in public. He avoided being seen with me. He joked about my flip phone. He once told his friends I was from a different era as if I was an inconvenience. Still I stayed quiet. I told myself young men lose their way before they find it. 3 months before his wedding Marcus called me on a Sunday evening. His voice was tense, clipped, impatient. He said, "Grandpa, I need to talk to you about something important." I said, "Go ahead, son." He took a breath and said, "You cannot come to the wedding dressed the way you usually do. Those old clothes of yours are a joke. You embarrass me. People at this wedding are investors, executives, people who matter. If you cannot dress properly, maybe it is better you do not come." I did not argue. I did not raise my voice. I did not remind him of the nights I held him while he cried for his father. I simply said, "I understand." Then I hung up. That night I sat in my living room alone. I looked at the framed photo of Ruth. I felt something break quietly inside me. Not anger. Clarity. You see, Marcus did not know everything. I never told him that the company he worked for was built on land I owned. I never told him that the early funding for that startup came from a trust I quietly established through a shell investment group. I never told him that the townhouse he bragged about was legally under my name because his credit was weak at the time. I never told him that silence was not weakness. It was patience. The next morning I called my lawyer, Thomas Reed, age 55, corporate attorney, sharp, calm, ethical, and loyal. He has handled my affairs for 20 years. I told him I was ready. He understood without asking too many questions. Over the next weeks I prepared quietly. I did not call Marcus. I did not attend the rehearsal dinner. I did not send a gift. People assumed I was too old or too proud. Let them assume. The wedding day arrived. It was held at a luxury vineyard outside Atlanta. White tents, crystal lights, expensive cars. I arrived early, not dressed in anything flashy. A tailored charcoal suit, classic, timeless, shoes freshly shined. I walked in with Thomas beside me. Heads turned, not because of wealth, because of presence. The ceremony began. Marcus stood at the altar glowing with confidence. His bride Elaine, age 26, marketing consultant, stylish, observant, kind but unaware of the deeper tensions. When the officiant asked if anyone had anything to say before the vows, I stood. Marcus's face drained of color. He whispered, "Grandpa, what are you doing?" I said calmly, "I am here to speak the truth." Thomas stepped forward and announced that due to legal obligations, certain disclosures needed to be made before the marriage could proceed. Murmurs filled the room. I revealed that the vineyard venue deposit was paid from an account under my name. That the house Marcus lived in was still legally mine. That the company shares he thought he owned outright were held in trust contingent upon personal conduct clauses. That disrespect and public dishonor triggered review. Marcus tried to laugh it off. He failed. Elaine looked at him confused. Denise, his mother, froze. I then spoke directly to Marcus. I said I never asked for praise. I never asked for gratitude. But I will not be erased. I will not be mocked. And I will not be ashamed of the hands that built everything you stand on. Thomas then handed Marcus documents. The trust was being restructured. Ownership would be transferred not to Marcus, but to a scholarship foundation in Ruth's name. The house would be sold. Marcus would be given 6 months to stand on his own. The company investment would be withdrawn gradually, legally, cleanly. Silence fell like a heavy cloth. Elaine stepped back. She asked Marcus why he never told her any of this. He had no answer. I did not smile. I did not shout. I simply said love does not embarrass. Pride does. I turned and walked out. Weeks later Marcus came to my door. He was thinner, quieter. He apologized. Not the loud kind. The broken kind. I listened. I forgave him. Forgiveness is free. Access is not. Today I sit in the same living room. Older. Calmer, stronger. My clothes are still simple. My name still carries weight. And my grandson learned something no amount of money could ever teach him. Respect is not inherited. It is earned. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And tell me, what would you have done if you were in my place?